So we'll see the next example. The question is, a person packed n apples in n boxes. If the number of apples is 14xx, find the value of x. So in this question, this person had packed n apples in n boxes. Suppose he packs 10 apples in 10 boxes. The number of apples will be 100. So if he packs 7 apples in 7 boxes, number of apples will be 49. So which is a square number. So n apples in n boxes means it is n square. It will be a square number. And the number of apples given is 14xx. So we are asked to find value of x. So in a square number, if the last 2 digits are repeated, so we will see what will be the possibilities for this. So according to the condition that n apples are packed in n boxes, so we know that number of apples packed is a square number, and number of apples is given as 14xx. So whenever 2 numbers are repeated in a perfect square number, so what can be the values of x? So according to this condition, so when you have 1, you can't have 1 in the tens place. So when you have 2 same variables, it means that x takes same values. So if it is 1, you can't write 1. So if it is 4, it can be an even number. So x can take value 4. So if it is 5, you can't write 5 because it should be only 2. So if unit place is 6, you can't write 6 in the tens place because it should be an odd number. For 9 also it can't be repeated because you should have even number in the tens place. And if you have 0 in the unit place, you can have 0 in the tens place. So whenever in a square number, if last 2 numbers are repeated, this x can take only values 4 or 0. No other number repeated will be a perfect square. So we know that n square, n apples in n boxes means it's a perfect square, and if last 2 numbers are repeated, it can take values only 4 or 0. So example, 12 square. So what is 12 square? 144. 4 is repeated. And when you have zeros, so 900. 0 is repeated. Only repeated numbers 4 and 0, if you have, it will be a perfect square. And for this question, so what will be value of x? So it can take either 4 or 0. So suppose if you write 0 for x, so number of apples will be 1400, and as 14 is not a perfect square, you can't have 0 as value of x. Suppose for example, so if the number is 16xx, so then you can write zeros because 16 itself is a perfect square. So for this question, the only possible value which x can take is 4. So 1444 is a square number and x can take the value 4. So answer is 4. So x can take the value 4, and we saw what is square root of 1444 also earlier. So it was 38. So but they are not asking how many boxes or how many apples he packed in each box. Total number of apples asked, and that too the value is given and 2 values repeated. So for a square number, if last 2 digits are repeated, it can take only the values 4 or 0, and for this question x can take only 4. So answer is x equal to 4. So now we'll see square roots for higher numbers. Friends, now we'll see how to find square root for higher numbers using a method called division method. So far we saw how to find square root for 4-digit numbers and 3-digit numbers using the shortcut. So we can use the division method for 4 and 3 digits also, but as we know the shortcut, we can use that and find square root for smaller digits, lower digits. So now if number of digits are more than 5 or 6, so we can use the division method to find the square root. And we can use this method to find square root for a non-square numbers and for decimal numbers, and also in some questions they ask what should be added or what should be subtracted for a number to be a perfect square. So for all this we can use this division method to find square root. And we'll see how to find square root of a 6-digit number using the division method. Say for example, so we are given a number as 138384, and to find the square root, the first step, so when you have higher number of digits, so more than 4 digits, so we can less than 4 digits we can use the shortcut. For more than 4 digits, so this division method will be very handy to work out. So with the options also you can decide the answer and you can stop the working. So to do the square root, to find the square root, first we have to group the numbers. So the grouping has to be done from right to left for the integers. Integers means non-decimal numbers. So we have to group the numbers from right to left. Suppose if you have a number, say for example, you have a number 456.372. So this is a non-square number, and how to find square root for this non-square number? So first we'll do the grouping. So I'll show you the pattern for grouping. So in the integer part, the grouping should be done from right to left. So if you have a single digit, so write 10 and then group the numbers. So for the decimal part, so group the numbers from left to right. So always don't involve this decimal in the grouping. Say for example, so don't do the grouping like this. So the decimal should not be involved in the grouping. So you can remember the grouping like a bindi here or a tilak and eyebrows. So the pairing should be in this pattern. So from right to left the pairing, and for the decimal part from left to right. So you can remember like a tilak or a bindi and 2 eyebrows. The grouping should be done in this pattern. So if you have a decimal number, so don't involve the decimal in the grouping. So now we'll see how to find square root for this 6-digit number using this division method. So to find square root, so we have paired the numbers and check what is the square number in the first pair. So what is the number we have? So we have 13. So if it is 13, don't write 4 into 3, 12 or 6 into 2, 12. So we have to check what is the square number contained in 13. So what is the square number? So it is 9. So 3 into 3 is 9. So whatever we write here should be written on the quotient place also. So 3 into 3 is 9 and subtract. So it is 4. So for the next working, bring this pair down. So don't bring a single digit. So bring this pair down. So that is 83. Now we have a number 483. So for the next step of working, so whatever is here is doubled. Means multiply it with 2. So 3 into 2 is 6. Now the number which you are going to put here has to be written in the quotient place also. Say for example, so if you write 1, so you should write 1 there and product is 61. So but what is the product we need? So what is the answer? 483 we need, but we get only 61. So if you put 1 on both the places. Suppose if it is 2, so we'll write 2 here, and what will be the product? It is 124. And still you can go for higher numbers because you have a number more than 124. So we have 483. So instead of checking with each number, so you see what are the numbers you have here. So 4 and 8. So it is 48. 6 multiplied with which number will give you 48? So it is 6 into 8, 48. So when we use 8 here, and obviously 8 into 68 will be more than this product. So we go for a smaller number. So the number less than 8 is 7. So we'll write 7 here and in the quotient place also. So 7 into 67, we'll find the product. So if it exceeds 483, so then we can go for still lower number. So what is product of 7 and 67? So 7 is 49. So 4 balance 42. So we have 469. And subtract 469 from 483. So it is 14. And bring the next pair down. 84. So for third step of working. So when you have higher number of digits, so each step you double the number whatever you have. So here it is 37. So right here 37 into 2, 74. Now instead of working out until we get 0 or remainder, so we can check with the options itself. So we know in the 100 place, so as we have 13, so the answer should start with 3 because the square number in 13 is 3. And the unit place we have 4, so the unit place of the square root can be either 2 or 8. So now we have got 1484 and here it is 74. So what will be the number we can choose to write here at the same number in this place? So we have 4, so it should be only 2 or 8, and here it is 14 and 7. So it is clear that it is only 2. So it should be 2 here and the same 2 is written here. So if it is a perfect square, so multiplying will get the exact product and remainder will be 0. So if it is not a perfect square, we'll get reminders, and if we need in decimals, so adding 2 zeros at a time, we can proceed. So now we'll see what is product of 2 and 742. So product of 2 and 742 is, so 2 is 4 and 2 4 is 8. As the given number is a perfect square, so we get remainder as 0. So square root for 138384 is 372. So now by the division method, so we have got square root for the 6-digit number. So while working out, instead of working out each step, so we can choose the answer from the options itself. So it should start with 3 and choose the options which ends with 2 or 8, and according to the working we can choose the answer from the options. So here square root for 138384 is 372. And this method we can use if it is not a perfect square also, or for decimal numbers, or what should be added or subtracted. Say suppose the number is 164836 and we have a 6-digit number and we are asked to find square root for this. So we can follow the division method and find the square root. So before finding the square roots, just give a glance at these numbers. So we'll group the numbers or divide the numbers into 2. So when you check here, on either side we have perfect squares. So here we have 36, which is a square number, and here it is 16, which is a square number. So if so, write square root of 36. And what is square root of 16? It is 4. So it is clear that the 100th place is 4 and the unit place is 6. So to find the middle number, so you check 2 into 4 into 6. So what is 2 into 4 into 6? It is 48. So we have this exact 48 here. So in squares we saw how to square a number. So when you have 0 in the middle. So when we have 0 in the middle, to find the squares, so we'll square this 9 and we'll square this 1 and twice the product. 2 into 1 into 9 is written in the middle. So the same concept is here. So twice this numbers, product of this numbers. 2 into 4 into 6 is 48. So we have here 48. So for square root, it should be only 0 in the middle. So square root for 16, 48, 36. Mostly for higher numbers they ask in this pattern. So instead of blindly working out for the answer, so just you can give a glance at these numbers. So as you have perfect squares, so for 16 you write 4, for 36 you write 6, square root is 6, and double the product for 4 and 6 is 48. So as we have that 48 exactly there, 0 should be the middle number. So square root for 16, 48, 36 is 406. Say suppose twice of this number is 48. So instead of 48 you have 40 or 49 or 24. So then this number, given number, is not a perfect square. So if it is not a perfect square, they'll ask what is the approximate square root. So for that, approximate answer is also 406 only. So check for the number. So when you have exact square numbers, write the square root and write 0 in the middle. So square root for 16, 48, 36 is 406. So instead of 48, if you have some other number, it is not a perfect square. So approximate square root is also the same, 406. See, suppose you have 9, 42 and 49. So we have a 5-digit number. So what will be square root of this? So we'll group the numbers. The grouping should be done taking 2 at a time. So we have exact square numbers on either side. So what is 49 square root? 7. What is square root of 9? 3. So what is double the product? So 7 into 3, 21. Into 2 we have 48. So 0 is the middle number. So square root for 9, 42, 49, 307 is the answer. So in exam 1 question was asked like this. So square root for this number was asked. So what is the square root now? So after grouping the numbers, root of 9 is 3. Root of 1 is 1. So twice the product 6 we have. So just seeing the question, seeing the number, we can find the answer. So you can write the answer. Choose the answer from the option. So 103 is square root of 10609. So now we'll see a few examples how to find square roots for higher numbers.